Are you someone who uses marijuana in Paris? Do you smoke marijuana in Paris?
Yeah, sometimes, why not?
Do you find that it's very easily accessible?
Yeah, it is. You
Yeah.
walk around the street and you always find someone. And it's not a big deal in France. I mean, it should be legal.
À mon avis, je crois que les lois sont très strictes, mais pour tout le monde, c'est pas très, c'est pas un problème.
France, a country filled with imagery of its most loved city, Paris, known to many as the city of love, lights, and cannabis. In May 2013, a drug report named France Europe's biggest user of cannabis. More than 1.2 million French people ages 11 to 75 years old smoke cannabis at least 10 times a month, making them regular users, according to the OFDT. The Observatoire Français des Drogues et Toxicomanes, a French drug watchdog organization, suggests that 1 in 5 French people say that they have used a drug. 13.4 million French people admit to sparking up at least once in their life. Even France's own newly elected Premier Ministre, Manuel Valls, said in an interview with Le Monde on January 2014 he tried it maybe once. Let's back up for a moment. Where does French law fall in all this? This is what happened when our cameras went out and asked a representative of the state. A police officer would surely be able to provide us with clarification. Or not. After numerous attempts to speak out to authorities on the subject in person and over email to varying prefectures, our investigation led us to conclude that while use is high, education on the laws and restrictions is low, prompting us to question the prevalence and high usage numbers. We decided if the French citizens couldn't rely on their local police to educate them on policies, then we would have to do some investigation of our own. According to the European Monitoring Center for Drugs and Drug Addiction, France has some of the most conservative drug policies and laws in Europe. Possession, use, and sale of cannabis and hashish are criminal offenses under French law and may carry a sentence up to 1 year imprisonment in addition to a fine up to 3,750 euros. So according to the laws set out by the French government, big cities like Paris should be quite cautious with public consumption of drugs, right? Or maybe not. Cannabis's prevalence is no surprise after discovering that it is one of the main drugs trafficked in France from here. According to the IMCDDA, cannabis is the main drug trafficked in France. It mainly originates in Morocco and enters France through Spain. Just this year, in early March, French authorities have busted one of the biggest cannabis money laundering networks ever discovered in the country. Companies in France, Belgium, Morocco, and other countries were part of a criminal network that signaled France as a transit point for hashish and other drugs destined for neighboring countries. Our cameras tried to ask a group of local youth dealers in Paris's 18th arrondissement for some information regarding the cannabis and hashish distribution. But fear of legal prosecution had them walking away from our investigation. Those involved in the dealing of cannabis were unwilling to speak to us further. While young people aged 15 to 24 are the largest consumers of cannabis, according to statistics, usage is high across all age groups and through almost all socioeconomic sectors. There are those who believe legalization is not the way to go.
Final question. Do you think that it's cannabis or marijuana should be a drug that should be legalized by the French government?
Moi personnellement, je pense pas.
Why not?
Ça reste une drogue, même si c'est une drogue douce. Je pense pas qu'on a besoin de cannabis. Moi, j'ai pas besoin de cannabis, j'en consomme pas et je vais très bien. Et je vois pas pourquoi les gens ils auraient besoin de cannabis. C'est prouvé que ça peut être dangereux dans le sens où ça rend les gens plus différents, calmes, un petit peu ailleurs.
Yet there are others who are crossed on the issue.
People do whatever they want, you know, but I think it's not that a big deal, you know, it doesn't kill as much, it's not as as dangerous as alcohol to me. Because alcohol, people just think like they can handle it, and most of the time they cannot. Like I work in a bar, so like I know what I'm talking about. People get just wasted and they hurt themselves. They go fight each other. Like with weed, I don't know. I just don't see the same effects on people. So, but like at the end of the day, it's still a drug. No matter what, it's still that.
In France, cannabis has been illegal since 1970, but there are those who are core believers in legalization of the drug. Just this year, hundreds of protesters, cannabis in hand, gathered on Bastille Square on May 10th to demonstrate in favor of the legalization of cannabis. Cannabis Sans Frontières is an organization dedicated to the support and struggle to legalize marijuana in France. The inconsistency between the number of French using marijuana and the strict laws against it has prompted debate and has led to numerous manifestations as calls for legalization.
I think there's a lot of good uses for THC and the cannabinoids as well. It's got a medical purpose, so it does help a lot of people. But I also think that if you just want to get high, there's really no harm in it. If you can drink a beer, why can't you smoke a joint?
While France continues to discuss and debate the issues of legalizing cannabis, and until there is an evolution in the current debate, advocates and those opposed will likely have to live side by side for quite some time.